There's only one player that I can think of that has successfully transitioned after their sport of playing a game of basketball. I can't say all sports, but the game of basketball, this person stood head and shoulders above everybody else. Transition after your sport is going to be tough. Whether it's in high school, middle school, college, or the pros, it's going to be tough. It's going to be new. It's going to be foreign to you. And if you don't have the right habits, it's going to feel like it's dang near impossible. Now, some people have done it in other industries, but the person I'm talking about is Kobe Bryant, and the industries that he was doing it in was unlike anyone else's. Now, I'm not trying to belittle anybody else's contributions, because I know there's a number of people that have done it as it relates to from their sport to commentating, from their sport to coaching. But I want to encourage you to think outside the box of athletics altogether. And again, I'm not trying to tell you not going pro. Go to the league, baby. You want to go to the league? Go to the league. Great. But beyond that, after you get done, if you play as long as Kobe, you're still going to have to transition afterwards. He showed you different things that he was doing that had nothing to do with sports that hopefully encourage you to do the same thing. But that didn't start out of nowhere. That was some of the habits that he made. And today I'm going to share some of those habits with you, because I want you to get started on having this mentality so you can be in his situation moving forward as you transition after your sport. So if we're all in agreement on that, let's comb back some things that Kobe did while he was playing that, in my opinion, helped him transition after his sport. The number one thing is this. Number one thing that he did is bet on yourself. You got to bet on yourself. You got to have some ownership over your process. It's about being a student athlete. At the end of the day, it's going to be on you. It's not going to be on your coach, your guidance counselor, your mom, your dad, me, Big Brother Bell. It's not going to be on me. It's going to be on you. So have some ownership over this process, and knowing that, it's going to be your name that's going to be signed at the end of that paper. The end of that receipt is going to be you. So own that process, have a sense of ownership over that process, and bet on yourself. Push all the chips to the center of the table and say, I'm betting on myself. And when I think about Kobe betting on himself, I'm thinking about those 3 air balls that he shot in the Delta Center as he played the Jazz. And a crucial time, 3-point shot, airballed it 3 times in a row. But guess what? He bet on himself. He put himself in that position, and he went for it. Once they lost that game, he went back to the lab, put up more shots so he'd be better moving forward. But at the end of the day, if you didn't bet on yourself, you would never have that opportunity. So that's going to risk. That comes with quite a bit of risk when you bet on yourself, but it's worth it, and it grooms you for the future. It's going to help you after you get done playing your sport.
You got to bet on yourself, and you have to have a sense of ownership. At the end of the day, you don't want to ride in the passenger side of your own future. You understand? At the end of the day, once you become a father or become a mother, and you have kids, you're not going to be able to look them in the eyes and say, I picked this bull crap major because my coach told me to, or because my advisor told me to. When you have debt up to your eyeballs, you're not going to be able to sleep at night thinking that, oh, well, I did this because somebody else wanted me to. You have got to grab this thing by the horns and say, you know what, this is going to be my process. Don't get me wrong. You should take other people's advice, but only with the mindset that it's going to be your name. You're going to be signed at the bottom of that receipt. Your name and your name only. Take advice. Take wise counsel, but know this is ultimately your decision. You got to bet on yourself.
The second thing I would say is not negotiating with yourself. Once you come up with your goal, your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, you got to understand that there's going to be a turn back moment. There's going to be a moment that's going to be like, this is tough. This is not what I want to do. What's the plan B? What's something else I can do? Kobe didn't negotiate with himself. He said that verbatim. I'm not negotiating with myself. He puts up these workouts early in the morning. He said, yeah, my lungs are already tired. I'm sick. I stayed up all night with the baby. My quads are tight. I need to stretch. He said, you know what? But I'm not negotiating with myself. I'm going for this. And that's something that you can use. It's going to help you beyond your sport.
Deal was made. When I set out at the beginning of the summer and said, this is the training plan I'm doing, I signed that contract with myself. I'm doing it. Throughout that process, you'll start talking to yourself like, man, I think I need to, maybe if we, nope. No, this is non-negotiable.
Yeah, non-negotiable.
The third thing is being able to be getting dunked on. Kobe didn't mind getting dunked on. And I love that. And I'm not saying dunked on the way you think I'm saying dunked on. Some of you think about just basketball, I'm dunking on somebody, oh yeah, the crowd goes ooh and ah. I love when people get dunked on, but I love it not from the stance of what other people love it. I love it because not on the person who got dunked on or who's doing the dunking. I like looking in the eyes of the person who got dunked on and seeing how they respond. Oh, I love it. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna fold? You gonna put your head down? You gonna look away? Are you embarrassed? Oh, the next time they come down the lane, they try to dunk, are you gonna move out the way? Because those are the people, listen, I despise people like that. I despise people who they value how they look versus the chance to win. Whether that be in a sport or whether that be in life. You can't be on my team. You can't be on my team. You can't sit at this table. You can't be around me. I need some people that's gonna be like, I'm gonna do what's best for us to win, regardless of how that makes me look. Regardless. And that's important for you to do. You got to get in the mindset. If you're not in the mindset already, you have to get in the mindset of saying, I'm going to do whatever that's needed for my team to win or for me to be successful. So that means majoring in molecular science, I don't know, doggone Russian, astrophysics, microorganism, whatever those things are to you. I'm willing to get dunked on saying, I see a goal that I want to go after. And you know what? I may get embarrassed. They may make fun of me. I may fail. I may have to dust myself off and do it again. That's fine. But figure out what are the things for you that's worth getting dunked on. A lot of people walk around in the world and try to make sure they don't get in a position to be dunked on. Oh, no. Didn't dunk on me. Let me move out the way. You're a sad individual. You're a sad individual for me. Listen, I got my hat turned back, yelling at a doggone microphone on freaking YouTube. I work for a major university, working with student athletes. What if those student athletes saw me putting up this content? They're like, Bill, what are you doing after hours, man? What if my direct supervisor saw me doing, what? I could be embarrassed. I could be risking dunked on. Do you think I care? I don't. And if you're at the university I work at, working with student athletes, hello. Welcome. I'm happy to have you here. The next thing, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Kobe was a rapper. Y'all can look this up. Kobe was a rapper, okay? But imagine the mindset he had to have to say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to risk being embarrassed. I'm going to risk getting dunked on. I'm going to risk because this is what I want to do. And I don't give a flying flip about what anybody else says about the process. All right, number 4, being culture beyond your sport. This is a big one. I talk to y'all about this all the time as far as NARPs. If y'all don't know what it stands for, non-athletic regular people. Some student athletes that I've worked with have told me, I can't talk to people that don't play sports. They're weird. I don't want to be around them. And I tell them, you're weird, and I don't want to be around you. You need to fix this. Because at the end of the day, after you get done playing your sport, guess what? Guess who you're going to be hanging around with? Non-athletic, regular people. It would behoove you to network with people that don't play sports or even care about sports. You would be a better communicator if you can do that. You can connect with a lot more people if you can do that. Don't think that you need to be able to, I know it's unfamiliar with you. I wouldn't give a doggone if Joker was out there catching Pokemons and didn't play sports at all. They can play Magic the Gathering. They could be LARPing out there. Doggone jokers could be whatever. Call of Duty, Mountain Dew drinking. The more different from me, the better. Okay? I want to connect with people from all walks of life. That's going to help me out. Okay? You need to do that. You need to be cultured beyond your sport. And I get that from Kobe because Kobe, last I checked, he was at least, he may be more, but at least trilingual. Spoke Italian, spoke American, obviously, or English, obviously, and Spanish, right? It was even a story that went out there. Luka Doncic was saying that he learned to talk trash in Luka Doncic's native language just to get under the skin. Come on now. Come on, ask yourself, do you feel like you're a culture beyond your sport? Because it's just, the lights, it's just not going to click after your sport is over. You're just not going to, people always say, I'm more than my sport. Well, this is the time for you to exercise that. This is the time. You got to groove that muscle. It's like with anything. If you don't use it, you lose it. Your muscle atrophies. That means it goes in reverse of growing. You got to use that. You got to put yourself in areas where your culture beyond your sport, and that's going to help you moving forward.
So Doncic, a fan is heckling him, and he looks to see who it is, and it's Kobe Bryant.
I like that he was talking Slovenian, so I was like, who's talking my language? And I saw Kobe, and I was like really surprised.
The fifth thing that I would say that Kobe Bryant did so well that I believe helped him transition after his sport is being where his feet is. Being able to be present, locked in. That's huge. I remember there was some entertainment. Chris Rock, I believe it was Chris Rock, and I think even Spike Lee was talking trash to Kobe. And Kobe could stare doggone laser beams through the wood floor. So locked in. Couldn't hear anything. You need to have that laser focus. Laser focus. Right? Like when you in your sport, whatever sport that is, you're locked in. You're locked in. You're not texting on the phone, on the bench. You're not looking in the crowd, seeing who you're going to hang out with, the kickback after the game. You're locked in. You're going to do all those things after the game regardless. But for right here, I'm going to keep the main thing. This right here, this is the most important thing.
And undoubtedly the same advice goes to academics. So many of you are dropping classes, are changing to an easier major because you're not where your feet are at currently. You got to sell out and say, you know what, I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket as far as the academics. If I end up dropping it, I end up dropping it. But as for right now, I'm focusing on what I have in front of me. Some of you may have transferred. You came through transfer portal. You were a JUCO kid the last year, and now you're at this new university. Listen, there's got to be a time and point where you say, you know what, I'm where my feet are at. I'm not worried about if I'm going to transfer. I'm not worried about if I'm going to a different school. I am where I am right now. I'm going to make the best of it right now. I'm locked in. This works with your sport. This works with academics. This works with your school. This works with any aspect of your life. Once you start dividing your attention, once you start dividing the water that you have for one plant, you have less water to water that plant. That plant will never make it as tall as it's supposed to be, as big as it's supposed to be, because you are dividing its water with some other things that you have no business watering. Focus. Be where your feet are at. This is this decision I made. I'm at this university. I'm focused on making this the best opportunity ever.
I can name a lot more things that Kobe came up with, but I don't want to steal your thunder. I know there's some things that maybe you've seen as well. I need you to put that in the comment section below. Let me know some things that you feel like, some habits that Kobe did while he was a student athlete, while he was a professional athlete, that you feel like helped transition him to life after sport.